James.
Thank you for joining me today.
So great to be here.
And you're in Sedona right now, so you're joining us from Sedona.
I am right in the heart of the vortexes and the energy.
Woohoo! So
And we
you're
have
like,
the pink full moon is tonight.
the pink full moon is tonight. That's exactly right. What are you going to do for the ceremony for pink full moon?
So we're just going to do some stargazing and, bring in some aliens.
Well,
But no, I mean, we've been getting a lot
I've
of
done
study.
that. Yeah, I've done that myself. When you bring tours out there, you do it. Do you have to meditate before you do that? Because I used to have to meditate before you'd really get them coming in.
Yes, today I'm going to be teaching all kinds of things, but that's one of them about bringing in the extraterrestrials to help you with your life and things like that. And
Right.
yeah,
That's
so
correct.
we do a little meditation, and we've definitely seen a lot of wild things here.
It's great. It's great.
Awesome.
So next weekend, next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be doing a workshop together.
Yay! Yep, Friday and Saturday.
We've been trying to get Friday and Saturday. We've probably been trying to get this together for quite a while, but because of our schedules, it's been kind of crazy, huh?
I
So,
know. And just,
and
at helping parents heal, that's when you came
that's
up
right.
with this great idea. And just, I think everybody needs some grief relief right now. So, and it's not just grieving, a loved one. It can be a pet, it can be a job, a relationship. We're, we're all grieving
I wrote a
something.
book about that.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
hear all about it.
I wrote all about different types of grief, which I think the first thing we're probably going to do in the workshop is to evaluate, assess the person's grief. So sometimes, like you said, can be moving to a location, or a child going to college, or moving to a new house, or a divorce. Even, I mean, it doesn't necessarily be death. There's many different types of grief, and if you don't recognize that you're going through it, it can affect you later on, huh?
Definitely. And I have studied Chinese medicine for years. So we'll also talk about some healing tips to help you reset the nervous system because we're all just right now, and
Yeah.
to help you heal the lines of energy, meridians in the body that get stagnant, they get stuck, they get excess and deficient, with adrenal exhaustion, especially with grieving, right, James?
Yeah, and one of the things I have to do is a technique I have: communicate with your grief, talk to your grief. Once you recognize it, then you talk to it and just say, "Why are you holding on to this? What's the reason? What is it supporting within you? What you need to learn from this particular type of grief about yourself?" So that's another good one. Oh, look at you! It gets right in there.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
I
it's
look
really
like a
effective.
ghost.
Yeah, you want to go. It's really, really effective. And then I look at the spiritual perspective of it. So why are you holding on to this, the physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, but then also for your world right now in this sense of spirituality? Is it helping you understand that you're a spirit, you're a soul, and what is that doing? And sometimes, of course, we will in the cover, also in the workshop, how people will contact their loved ones, because a lot of them want to contact people, want to contact loved ones with physical death, which we'll discuss verbatim at that, because that's in our specialty. And also, the lovely Maureen said she would do a lot of readings, and I will do
Oh,
readings too.
yeah.
But my one reading, she'll do 5 around my one. So that's what the.
Yep, we're going to do a lot of connections, everybody, but teaching you how to be your own medium because it is available to you to see, feel, hear, sense, and create a non-physical relationship with your loved ones in spirit and even pets, and recognize that.
And recognize when they're around you. What are the signs that they come and give you in that space? And I think it's important that I don't know what we feel more about this, but when people are in heavy grief, whether it's losing a job, whether it's a child leaving, because people get very saddened by that. What are the tips to help them get out of that? So they have to go through it because it's a valuable human experience they have to get through. But we're going to give tips of healthy ways to look at that and let it come, let it process in a way faster, if you will, and just experience it, not let it live, not let it guide you, if you will, not let it take you over, if you will, and become your life. It's like so funny. Someone told me years ago, you don't want to become a parent who lost a child, because that identifies you as that the rest of your life. You don't want to have that. So it's just an experience that you had. You never lose them, but it's an experience you have, and that's the way it should be. Otherwise, you become very much involved, and that's who I am. That's your identity, becoming aware of I'm a mother who lost a child. You don't want that. You want to be yourself.
And my sister physically, we always say physically lost her son, Sean, but he is ever present, and it really helped Rosie to help others to create that never ending bond through various things, right? And so we're going to teach a lot of that in the workshop next Friday night and Saturday, most of the day, and giving a lot of connections, but helping you find clarity, peace, connection, purpose. So many say to me, James, and you've probably heard this, like, what do I do now? What do I
Yeah,
do now?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. How do I live life now? Because that was my life for so long. What do I do? And there are ways of also, like I said, being in touch with them. And it could be on a daily level, but they're here to help you to move on, to progress, to expand, to continue your classes here on the earth. They're here to help you do that. To unseen
Right.
world. And we're also going to go through various types of grief, as far as the grief of losing a partner is very different than losing a child, very different than losing a friend, very different, so all different types of those types of personal grief as well. We're going to cover that as well.
Yeah,
Because
I just connected somebody with their dog, and you're a dog person, I'm a dog person. Um,
animals, we're going to cover animals.
and
Yeah.
this literally the dog, it was like, "Hi, my name's Maggie," it was amazing. It was so amazing. So, it is possible.
When the animals come through to you, do you find it easier for animals than humans?
I do, and, this person who's now a friend, she was like, "Okay, some mediums that I've gone to will just sort of see little bits and pieces and pictures." I'm like, "Oh, no, 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 they talk to me." I was a dog trainer, vet
You become them, if I can say so, because I've been around you too much. When you started barking with that, Maureen. Maureen, if you wag a tail, we're out of here.
Yeah. But even like, and I'm seeing folks on, the comments like losing a partner, losing child, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, we've all been there. And it just feels like sludge, and we can help you move out of that.
Yeah,
And
and my best friend is a good one too. I had one last night, a lady last night who lost her best friend for many, many years, and she doesn't know how to get through life because they used life together. They became one in life. So we have ways of also with that, with a best friend, and how you can honor them. And there are different ways of honoring loved ones too. And I always think it's so strange to me, but I always think from the early, early days that you want to make sure you live your life fully and do what you're meant to do here, because when you pass over, you want to make sure you're with them.
yeah.
Make sure you got your work done.
Right,
You
do
got
the work, do the work. And I noticed Raven on the comments, her special needs little boy moved on 2 years ago. I love how she said moved on, and her mom. And it's been so hard, but she gets an overwhelming feeling of peace, and she knows it's him hugging. I'll tell you this, with those special needs kids, they are so our teachers, and they've come
oh,
here, right,
oh.
to make such a difference and to help us get to that next level, higher consciousness, and really, learning, like you said, James.
I once did a reading for a lady whose son died of, he was in a wheelchair. I said, he was in a wheelchair. She goes, yeah, his whole life was in a wheelchair. And I said, well, he was here as your teacher. What? I said, he taught you how to be, how to love, how to be with someone who's handicapped. So there are many, many lessons there to unfold. So we also got to find out, we will figure out and work on what are the gifts that they give us? What are the
Mm,
gifts that need to be
no,
unfolded and looked at and appreciated, and lived
right.
on it for sure.
And we'll get into the mind of a medium. Like, what is it like when we make contact, when you make contact, and how can you strengthen that? So how can you get the evidence? And you can't do on demand. Like, if you're here, turn off that light. Imagine if that just went off, I'd be out. But and really trying to solidify that non-physical relationship,
Well,
because
Maureen, it was funny. Last night I did a demonstration for a lot of the people that were here, and one of the last reading we had was a lady whose father and mother passed away, and the father was not coming through very well. I said, he's not coming through really well, and I don't know. I don't know if it was breathing problem or something. It was not coming through. The mother came through pretty well, and the lady said, no, he's not coming through. And I said, is there something you want to ask him? Just why is he coming through? And I said, well, I don't understand, because I usually may be able to get some people through, but he's not. He's very leery. And she said, in life, he was like that. He didn't communicate in life. I said, then don't expect him to communicate in death, because the personality survived death and he will come through that way. So that does happen. And then her mother said, I love you at the beach. And the lady said she used to drive me to the beach every day. So it's those sorts of things. Like, there you go. That's a good communicator. So we'll talk about what we go through to bring through spirit. What does the mind of the medium do? Very, very important.
Right. And helping you get out of your head and lead with your heart, because we get so caught up. And I want to see in the comments who gets caught up in their thoughts or trying too hard. And when you least expect it, that's when they can come in with ease with the energy. So we're also going to teach you about raising your vibration. And when you do that, you're a clearer channel to receive so much that's available to you, and to really feel them living with you. They often say to me, if you can't live for you, do it for me. Right?
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry. They say that all the time. They say that all the time. If you can't find you live for yourself, then live for me. Yeah, they do. They do say that. And we're helping you. We're helping you. We're helping you. Don't understand, we're helping you. And they get very frustrated too. I'm helping you. I'm helping you. So it's very, very true. I'm also going to talk about losing to siblings, of course, which I just did. And we're going to talk. And you owe me a reading, by the way. You owe me a reading. You
Oh,
said
guess what? Oh
you
my
offered
God.
me one. Yeah.
Your brother just started to talk before you said that, and I am not even kidding. He was like, I'm right here. But he's like, star of the day, who will it be? Like him, like, I don't know. Is he very like, or like,
Oh,
yeah.
he's very New York. He's very
Oh,
New Yorker. He's tough. He's full of energy. He runs around the room. You would not even that type of
wow.
thing. Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
and creative and busy and builds things and
Yeah,
sets.
he's a craftsman, and he's going to teach children about craft, building crafts on the other side of life. And I said, "What are you doing over there?" He said, "I'm going to help kids build crafts, learn craftsman work." And I said, "Wow."
That
Oh
was
yeah. And then he said, Maureen, I'm going to call just like us, and I'm sure he'll be here next weekend. And he said, "This is so funny." He goes, "I help you know things." I help you know things. So
come on, come
yeah,
on.
I just say.
He
Also, we want to cover also next week. I want to just share with people suicide. A lot of people with suicides want to know, why did someone do that? Where are they? Are they in hell? What happens to them? Will we see them again? So that's a whole situation we got to we'll be covering next week as well, because that's an important one, and because that parent, child, and friend, and it always seems like it's like, cutting school, and so we'll talk about that in depth, and also we should talk about, the soul, a lot about the soul, and how the soul chooses life before they come back in. The reason why they choose life before life, like what happens in that process, and when they come back down here, how do they come into the body, and what the situation is? Because there are many spirits, when they tell me before they came into the body, the conditions of the family that they were coming into, and if the conditions of the family were met in their life, they often talk about that to me too. Isn't that trippy?
That's trippy. That is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll teach you how to meditate and how to quiet your mind. And because I think that's just super important, doing the work. So I teach Qigong and Tai Chi and all kinds of things, yoga, but giving you some moves to help you get unstuck.
it's really true.
Right? So many say to me, like, I just feel stuck. And if you can relate, I want to see in the comments, and just do the work. It's hard. People say, like, easier said than done, and I
Right.
say, then do it. Like, you have to at least try. Give yourself a chance. Follow your bliss. If you have a moment where you feel like, I feel guilty, I shouldn't be happy, I shouldn't be. That's the opposite. It's like the bells going off when you give a big tip at a bar. That's how they are when you smile and laugh and do, take adventures, and you do the work, the self-care. So we're
And,
gonna.
and the important thing, Maureen, which a lot of people don't talk about, which of course we will, because that's who we are, is you got to create a joyous space in order for them to come through. You got to be in that happy space. I want to come to a fun party, and they will make sure of that. So that's why you and I together, forget about it. But
Forget about it.
from the
And
day one, been like
you
that.
know what? So I teach people too, like what you just said, like bringing them in through a dream, because they're like, why don't they visit me? I'm like, are you an overthinker? If you're stuck in your head, it's putting up layers of energy and they can't get through that. So it's like peeling the artichoke to find the heart. Whoop.
Yeah.
And you know what you do? You think about them. I like to do this exercise for 3 nights in a row. Think of your best memory with that loved one. And it's almost like a past life regression. I want you to see, what are you wearing? What are you eating? What is it everybody doing? Where are you? Are you in the kitchen? Are you outside? Are you on a trip? Think of your best memory. Do it for 3 to 5 minutes before you fall asleep. And then it opens that portal so they
Yes,
can come in the dream. So
it
it
does.
works for me. I want everybody to try that. And we'll go deeper with that Friday night and most of the day Saturday for the grief workshop.
And part of what you're saying, if it's okay to, I think what you're saying, and I kind of get it. We have a lot of overthinkers. We have a lot of active minds. So we're going to help all of you to stop being in an overactive mind and getting to that passive mind where you're able to receive, to open up that space. Because I always say it's like a windshield. It's all the bugs are on that windshield. You can't really see through, or any fog. And we want to clear that up for you.
Right? Or at the car wash. At the car
At the
wash.
car wash.
And then you put so we're going to have a lot of laughs too, everybody, because
Yeah.
that's how we roll. And laughter is the best medicine. So it's not going to be like, oh, dim the lights. But
That's true.
James and I have a grief online retreat next weekend. So it's Friday night and then Saturday during the day. And come laugh, cry, and heal with us. I'm going to give a ton of messages. James is going to be connecting as well. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Very healing, very healing.
Very, very healing. And I want to read something, if I might.
Yeah.
When I wrote this book, and this was written 19 blah blah blah, I wanted to put a poem in here, and it was a poem that I have some. We're gonna do healing resources also for everybody, because a whole bunch of healing resources for you. Things to do next. What's the next steps, right? And what's the next steps in your healing? Because there are next steps. You don't just sit there and be the same. You're going to be changed. It'll be a transformative workshop. And I was 245. Okay. So when I wrote this book, I thought, a lot of people who have lost animals, and I know that from my heart with animals, there's a very special bond with animals. So I want to read what I got here. Let's see. Hold on. Here it is. Reclaiming your life after loss. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Just
Love
saying.
it.
Okay.
Reclaim.
Reclaim. This is the Rainbow Bridge, everybody. You've probably all heard of it. The author of this, and she gave me permission to use it. I'm Stephen Diane. And I say to you, let me read this to you. In the edge of the woods, at the foot of a hill, in a lush green meadow where the time stands still, where the friends of men and women do run, where the time on earth is over and done. For here between the world and the next is a place where each beloved creature finds rest. On the golden land they wait and they play, to the rainbow bridge they cross over one day. No more do they suffer in pain or sadness, but here they are full, and their lives fulfilled with gladness. Their limbs are restored, their health renewed, their bodies have healed, the strength imbued. They run through the gates, the grass, without even a cue. I'm sorry, without even a care, until one day they start and sniff at the air. All ears prick up forward, eyes from the dart back and forth. There, all of a sudden, one breaks the pack, for just at the instant their eyes have met, together again, both person and pet. So they run together, their friends from long past. The time of their parting is over at last. The sadness they felt while they were apart, this turned into joy once more in each heart. They embrace with a love that will last forever, and then side by side they cross over together. So they wait for you. Your loved ones wait for you. Your loved ones prepare for you. We'll talk about what happens before you go, like what the preparation from the other side is, and for your graduation, because it's a graduation party.
I love that.
Is that great? Have you heard that before?
I've never heard that. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
A
Yeah.
graduation party.
It's a graduation party, baby. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it took a while for my mom to start coming through after she physically passed, and
Yes.
I'm one of 9, so at the family,
Well,
at the Christmas parties, this and that, it was like, hey, Moe, they call me Moe. Moe, have you seen Mom? I'm like, no. Rosie, have you seen Mom? No. Where is she? I'm like, I think she's in Haiti. They just had an earthquake. So, it took about a year for all of
yeah.
us. What do you think about that, James? Sometimes it takes a while, but my mom was a saint, so I felt like she was so high vibing that she had to go do her work. She was almost like in the seventh dimension or something.
Well, I found out with that when that sort of thing happens, and it's not just this way. There could be many different reasons why. One of the reasons that I've experienced that was there's so many people over there, so many places that they belong to, so many people they're visiting. Then, and that's just it's just like think of it as a stalk going into this a rose, if you will, or a sunflower, and they have all these little places they have to go to in the side of the leaves. You know, they have to go there. So sometimes they're all over the place. But there's also that sense that they can be in several places at once. So she probably was with you, but she's also different places.
I
And
love that.
and the amount of that you can she can impress you that she's with you may vary because she's in different places all at the same time.
Mm. And then she and my dad started to come through in dreams every single night for a year. So I
Yeah,
felt like I was, and I probably was, living this other lifetime, right? So as you know, no past, present, future. It's all happening simultaneously, which is it blows my mind, everybody. So when someone says, "Let's do a past life regression," which I can do that, and I will do that if people want next
or I
weekend.
will too. Either way, yep.
Yeah, but that it's like, wait, but these are all your experiences, just like you said, James. Just
So during next week, we do a soul group reading, and that what when you before you die, before you came in, you pick that soul. So we can go into bring. I can bring you back to that space of why you decided to pick that family member. What's your karmic connections? What's your obligations? What are you learning from each other? So that'll give clarity into your relationship now in this physical limited world. We'll do
wow,
that. We'll do that.
I love that. And want to acknowledge Anita on the comments. I've lost both of my kids within 9 years of each other,
Uh,
2014 and 2023. And Anita, I felt the sun coming through for you, and I felt like he passed unexpectedly. So I just wanted to give you a little hug from heaven from your children, and they are so, so powerful. And like my nephew in the Beyond said, I was meant to be here 19 years. That was my agreements. So what do
yes.
you think about that, James?
I agree with it totally. I think there's a, I hate to say it, but there's an expiration date. I really do believe that we come. I know you never heard me say that. I know you can use that. You can use that. Take that for the weekend.
Okay.
And yeah, no, it's really true. There's a divine time to be born, event, divine time to go, because we
Mhm.
come in for a certain amount of time to learn. This is not our home. And once we pass over, it's like, oh, thank God, I'm out of here. Because I've never had anyone say, oh, I really miss that earth. Oh, I really miss that disease. Or never, ever had that. And it's letting you know that they're with you in a new state and talking to them, letting them continue on. But they want you to live your life. They don't want you to hold back. That's their biggest thing, and celebrate them. That's really going to be about celebrating them as well.
And they
And
live through you. So if you
oh,
really feel like they're separated from you and they're so far away, they're literally like, I'm right here. Like, and I often hear like, what would I do if I was here? So live like that. Live like every day could be your last in this incarnation. And you can really change things up if you start to get out of your head, lead with your heart, and use these self care methods that we're going to give you next weekend. Then you're going to change your energy and your frequency because we are all frequencies, right?
no,
So
life.
everything gets stuck here in the auric field, which we'll talk about. Your chakras are going the wrong way or closed. So we'll balance your chakras. We'll teach you about the aura and teach you about frequency healing and everything to get you to a state of being able to open up and create the channel that you're so desiring.
Yeah, and then we block in ways you don't know we're blocking. Also, you mentioned something which I love, Maureen, which is they're still with us and they're with us all the time. And one of the things, and this happens many times, where someone will come through and say, "Thank you very much for that beautiful red wine that you had the other night that I gave you for the birthday." I said yes, and they said I enjoyed it with you. I'm like, what does that mean? So they can get the essence of what you're drinking, of what you're eating. I've had people say thank you for the favorite food. I love the essence of it. That's so great. The gravy was great. They can get the essence of what that tastes like. They do that still. They can't get the, bust from it. They can't react from it because it's not physical, but they get the essence of it. So when you have a drink with them, the toasting, they'll get the essence of that. So that's another way for you to know that they are with you indeed.
Love it. And we did a vortex hike yesterday with a clearing, and I went around the room and just did a little bit of like Reiki and clearing, and I could feel so many of their loved ones there, like a couple of kids were talking to me like, I'm so excited. This is amazing, because they love that pure, higher energy. So remember that your words have energy and your thoughts have energy. And you taught me this, James. And, so everything that you're eating or drinking or that has energy around you. So remember that when you fall into that negative place, try to lift yourself out. Like, I'm going to take some nice deep breaths, and because especially here in Sedona, where I am right now, like the energy is going to magnify. So if you're
Amplified.
negative, it's going to get worse. If you're
It's true.
positive,
I brought groups of people there, and I'm telling you, there were sometimes wasn't aware of it. I thought, oh no, I didn't protect the group. There's some negative people, because it brings up any negative thing, any positive thing, it brings it up. And there are people that kind of freaked out, like, okay, let's separate the group here, because it'll bring up a lot of your stuff. And it's almost like learning to be responsible for your thoughts, words, and deeds, because it'll show you, it'll present itself right in front of you.
wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my friends,
Remember that, please, young lady.
right. I know.
Before you go out there, go do a protection exercise. Thank you.
I will. I'm going to start with that this morning. And one of my friends here broke her foot, and she's going through a lot. And I thought, geez, this might be a big in your face, slow down, because she's very busy,
It's
amazing.
the universe saying, slow down. Hello.
Make
That's
make the therapist, look her up. She is amazing, but she's here to help me with some grief stuff with folks. But she broke her foot, and I'm like, how busy are you that the universe is trying to tell you to slow down, right?
it's so true. It's so true.
Which I
And,
don't want the pain for her, but the message is clear. Like,
yeah.
go within, do some inner work, right?
Yeah, it's true. I love this. Lala St. Clair says, I rescued a senior horse from the kill pen. That made me cry. That's very good. Oh, and turns out we had a past life together. That life I wasn't nice, and life we came back together so we can heal with each other. Yeah, it's so true. We can have past lives with animals. No doubt. I talked about this last night. For sure, 100% we can, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Without a
definitely.
well,
And yeah, and they'll give you scents, claroma, so you'll smell cigarette smoke, certain perfumes, flowers.
claroma. I haven't heard it put that way, claroma. I think that's much easier to remember. Claroma. I like that.
Claroma, baby, right? You're
Sounds like
like,
a commercial, baby.
and but
Claroma.
and James, like spirit will give you a scent that's going to spark a memory, so
Yeah,
that you can have recognition. Like, oh, that's Old Spice. That was my dad's. Oh, someone smoking cigarettes. That's my mom.
that's right.
They want to make their presence known, right?
And one thing, Maureen, which we have to go over next week, which I think would be great, is to give people, when I do this mediumship, I'm sure you do too, is that it's called that reference library, where you open up to a certain smell that you're able to open up, or put that in your reference library. So next time you smell it, you'll know it's that person. Or next time you see something and it's that person. It's kind of in your mind. So that way when spirit comes in, they can light that part of you up. And like, oh, that's them. So we'll talk about that too, how to create a reference library, how to have that in your space. So next time they come near you, you'll know it's them.
Yeah, you have your own database, everybody.
Your database,
Oh
yes.
my God. Eric said, would I receive help trying to help my special needs son? I'm overwhelmed and just can't do this. So you have a team. We're going to teach you about that. We're going to talk about your spirit guides. We're going to do a meditation for you to meet them and your guardian angels, your loved ones in spirit. You have a whole team, Eric, and everybody that you can tap into. So sometimes I say, like, Jesus, take the wheel, or I'll say, Mom, can you help me? And can you hold me up? And can you give me strength? And I promise, right? Go in each day as it comes, each moment if you have to, and just try not to get too ahead of yourself.
Right. And also in that, when you said that, Maureen, I just also get a sense, which is possible, that this person needs to ask others to help here physically, because physically you might need to get help from other people because you can't do it yourself. So that realization may have to come to also that, we have to learn how to ask for help, that it's okay to do that. And
Love.
some girl said here, which I can't get right now, but she said, and I think this is just hysterical, she's doing my card, James and Praagh cards, but she's creating her own. And she said, I told her to do this, and it's a wine bottle on top of every card, which I think is very funny. A wine bottle. Talk about spirits.
You know,
Here it is. Here it is.
James.
Great.
Wow. And Ricardo said his wife passed, and I know this well because I have friends with scleroderma, and it is a terrible, horrible disease. And we're so sorry, Ricardo. But let me tell you, what I see is just they feel so free, like, I'm no longer suffering. So I've been doing hospice work for 30 years, and I've witnessed so many physical passings. And sometimes they're reaching their hands up. I bet you can relate, people. And then they go, it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
they are restored to
Yeah.
wholeness. And it's just beautiful. But at the same time, Ricardo, she can be with you because I feel like she's a go-getter. Let's go clean this up, move this here. So she is absolutely beside you. So
Yeah.
I can't wait for next weekend, James.
It's going to be great, Maureen. It's going to be great working
Yep,
with you.
so it's
Maureen is so much
Friday.
fun, you guys. I told you she's
Yeah.
great.
I'm a former stand-up comedian. I'm the comedian medium. I bring lightness,
You're a
and
medium.
it's next Friday night. You'll see the link in here. Friday night, and then Saturday during the day. And I'm popping on a little bit after I have a live event Saturday on stage. Then I'm coming right on with James after he starts Saturday. And we hope you join us. You're going to receive so much for your toolbox, just to be able to heal and connect and feel and heal and all of it.
It's true. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you, Marina. Good luck in Sedona, and be careful walking around, please. It's very strong energy.
it is.